Hello, Chess for Children kids. It's me, Mr. C, and today's subject will be major piece checkmates.
Chess for Children kids, so much fun you'll split a rib. Summer, winter, fall, we'll checkmate them all with a Chess for Children kids.
Chess for Children. We make children smarter.
Please welcome author, lecturer, chess coach, and CEO of Chess for Children, National Master Steve Colden.
Hi, my name is Steve Colden from Chess for Children. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn more about chess, chess openings, chess tactics, and all chess-related stuff, start now by subscribing and clicking the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Today's subject is major piece checkmates. A major piece is either a queen or a rook, and so it is not surprising, since they are the most powerful pieces, for checkmates to often occur with queens and rooks. However, there are still certain preconditions that must exist in order for you to checkmate with a queen and rook. If any of these three conditions are met, a checkmating pattern might exist. 1. The king is not surrounded by pieces. 2. The king cannot easily escape from the side he's at. Or 3. The queen and the rook work excellently together. This is the first major checkmating pattern which we will be looking at. And this checkmating pattern comes from Damiano's book. You may remember Damiano from our previous video on Damiano's mates. Well, this mate is also in his book. If you're interested in it, look at our video before that says Damiano's mates. Now here, it's white to move and checkmate in 3 moves. First, stop the video and see if you could solve it. Okay, if you solved it, congratulations. If you didn't, well, you'll do better next time, I'm sure. So white to move and checkmate in 3 moves. Well, let's look at the position. The king has a rook next to it, but let's look how many squares the king has. The king actually has only 1 square, the square he's on. Well, when he only has 1 square, we have to then look and see what is stopping the checkmate. Well, upon examination, we see that the A7 pawn is stopping the checkmate. And what's the first thing we look at when we see something stopping our checkmate? That's right, we look at eliminating it. So queen takes A7, check. After we analyze this, we realize that it's checkmate after king takes, which is forced. And now the king has 3 squares, 1, 2, 3, and where are they along? A straight line. And guess what? We have a rook to attack the straight line, and we play the rook over to A2. And the queen has to come over and block because the rook is attacking the king. So the queen comes over and blocks, and then unfortunately for black, the queen is unprotected, and when white takes the pawn, both files are taken away. All 6 squares are taken away from the king, and so it is checkmate. This is mating pattern number 2. Here, it's white to move and checkmate in 3 moves. Stop the video, try to solve it on your own, and we'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, congratulations if you solved the video. If you didn't, well, maybe next time. Okay, so let's examine the position. Well, how many squares does the king have? Well, the black king has 3 squares. He has he has G6, he has G8, he has the square he's on, G7, that's a straight line, and he has the square H8 because it's protected by the pawn. So what can take away most of the squares right now? Well, the queen can take away this whole line right away by playing to G4, and that's what happens. Queen to G4. And now the king must move into the corner. Now, as in the last problem, we ask ourselves, what's stopping the checkmate? Well, it's obvious that the pawn is stopping the checkmate. And so what do? We have to analyze eliminating it. And that's exactly what white does. He eliminates it with the pawn. And when king takes, the rook comes over. Very good. Okay, and if you solved it, congratulations. If you didn't, well, maybe next time. Let's move on to major piece checkmate pattern number 3. This is checkmate pattern number 3. And in this, I'm going to give you a hint now. In this, the queen and the rook work perfectly together. It is white to move and checkmate in 6. Stop the video, see if you can solve it, and I'll see you in a few more seconds. Okay, if you solved it, congratulations. If you didn't, well, maybe next time. Okay, now let's look at the position. Well, the king's getting ready to take the rook, so the queen has to protect the rook and at the same time attack the king, because if we even give black one move, we will be checkmated or lose our queen. A whole bunch of nasty things can happen. So the move is how the pieces connect is queen to D7. And now the king moves to E5. Well, the rook goes to F5. And then the king moves to E4. Now, this pattern in which the king is literally in a box created by the queen and rook has a very nasty name. The name is called the kill box. So the queen comes back to D5 protected by the rook and attacking the king, and the king must go further down. Now the rook attacks the king, and the king goes to E2. The queen comes to D3, protected by the rook, and the king must go to F1, and the mate is finished off by rook to F1. A perfectly coordinated queen and rook. This is the last one we will be looking at. And this is black to move and checkmate in 5 moves. Stop the video, take your time, and try to solve it. And I'll see you in a few more seconds. Okay, this is black to move and checkmate in 5 moves. Well, let's look at the position. Okay, the white king has 2 squares. Well, what's stopping the checkmate? The pawns are stopping the checkmate. So what do we first look at when we find out that pawns are stopping the checkmate? If you've watched any of our videos, you know the answer. Eliminate them. So first, rook takes G2. King takes G2. And rook takes to G8 check. That's 1 pawn eliminated. Now, let's suppose the king hides to H1. Well, mate is delivered on F3. Okay, that's one way. But suppose the king tries to hide after rook G8, tries to hide on H3. Well, that means queen goes to H6, and that's checkmate. Okay, so none of those work. So the king is forced to hide behind his pawn and go to h1 and not take the rook. But the rook will take no for an answer, and he eliminates the final pawn. King takes pawn. So what happens then? Well, king takes. And when rook goes to h1, 8, the king goes to g3. Or he could go to g1, or it doesn't really matter. Rook goes back to g8, and when king goes to h3 or h2, the checkmate is delivered by queen to h6. Okay? And this is checkmating pattern with the major pieces, number 4. Now, like I said before, if you want to see more, go to our website, and we have more checkmating patterns on there and even some puzzles which you can try to solve. We have come to the end of our video on major piece checkmates. Thanks for sticking around. If you like this video, like us, give us comments to let us know how we could do it better. Subscribe, ring the notification bell. It really helps a lot. Okay? And remember, our website is chessforchildren.com, where you can sign up for free or private lessons. And that's about it. So it's me, Mr. C, and our next video will be, I keep doing the wrong way, will be minor piece checkmates. Thank you.